guys, welcome back to another one. In today's video, we're putting together a 3-inch 12-gauge turkey assembly. Kentucky fall turkey season is right around the corner, about 2 weeks away as of the time of this recording. So, it's time to get started. So in this one, we are just using lead, not TSS. I know TSS right now, in the last few years, has really taken off. It's becoming extremely popular for turkey. Well, we're just using lead here today. I do have some TSS, and I've done quite a few TSS assemblies in the past. In fact, recently, it was only an ounce and a quarter though, which is still plenty for turkey, TSS number 9. But we are doing a 1 5/8 ounce assembly of nickel-plated number 6 lead here. Some really good shot, nice and hard. Nickel plating prevents corrosion, things like that. It adds a little bit of hardness to the pellet. Whether it actually improves patterns, most people say it's debatable. However, we have seen nickel-plated shot outdo standard high-antimony lead and copper-plated lead several times. Now, that's not to say we haven't seen better standard lead shot and copper-plated lead shot, out-pattern this stuff, but generally, most of the time, the nickel-plated shot is a little bit better than other types of lead shot. It's also pretty good at being more expensive, but the components we're using today are a brand new primed 3-inch Shadot hull. Now, something I've started doing lately to any of my new hulls, especially Fiocchi's, is actually skiving it a little bit more than what they come from the factory. I've noticed it's a lot easier to fold, crimp them, and roll than just using them right out of the bag. Do you have to do that? No. I wouldn't recommend doing it. I just do it because it seems to make the whole fold, crimp process a little bit easier. After that, we are using this glorious stuff right here. Love it. Oh yeah, the number of the day is 26. The wad is the CTPS 47. Now, I will go ahead and say, in my opinion, this is the best 3-inch 12-gauge wad on the market. Maybe not for capacity, but for patterns, yeah, this is the best wad. We have tested all kinds of different wads out for 3-inch 12-gauge, buckshot, and lead shot. Lost my train of thought there for a second. This is the best wad. It's outshining the LBC 50, the MG 42, the standard TPS. It blows them out of the water. This is an excellent wad, and I highly recommend them. Now, all that being said, these do come pre-slit. However, they are stitched at the top, so what I do is run my thumbnail in it like that and break the stitching loose. You don't have to do that, especially not with a ported choke, but we have noticed that with stitched wads like this, there is a chance that the stitching does not break loose and all of your shot, well, not all of it, most of it stays inside of the wad. You don't want that, especially not when you're trying to smack a turkey or a deer, anything really. But yeah, I do recommend going ahead and breaking the petals loose. And after that, you're pretty much ready to use it. This wad is cushioned, hence the name CTPS, cushioned TPS. It does have a built-in cushion section right here. Awesome to have that. No need for a filler, no need for a nitro card, felt, cork, fiber, anything. You can straight up put that wad in there and add your shot and go. Alright, so magical dust is already in there. Seed our wad. Now, guys, we're ready for shot. Again, 1 5/8 ounces is about all that'll fit in here. You can push it to 1 11/16. 1 5/8 is 1.62. 1 11/16 is 1.68. Not much of a difference. It's just a 1/16 of an ounce, but I suppose you could look at it. Some people do anyway. Every pellet counts in a shell like this. I tend to agree with that. I like the heavier payloads myself. But, yeah, you can go to a 1 11/16 and still fold it. It works just fine. Or you can go to 1 3/4, maybe even 1 7/8 and roll crimp it. But all that fits in the wad itself. The shot cup is 1 5/8. And we now have the 1 5/8 ounces of the nickel-plated number 6 shot in here. You don't have to use 6s. You can use any size lead shot you want as long as it equals 1 5/8 or a little bit less. 1 5/8 is pretty good payload for turkey. I really don't think payload is as important as having a really good pattern. You can get it done with 1 ounce of lead shot if you're close enough and you have a good enough pattern. The Winchester Longbeard XRs 3-inch 20 gauge, they come 1 ounce and a quarter, and I think they're moving, what are they, 1050 FPS, 1080, I can't remember, but it's only 1 ounce and a quarter, and they're good to 40 yards. So 1 5/8, that is certainly respectable and very capable. Now the last component here besides the overshot card, I am using BPI original buffer. You could use the mix number 47 or ITX. I myself prefer the ITX/BSB buffer. Once again, it's been rebranded to BSB. The ITX did, or has been rebranded to BSB is what I was trying to say. But 1 scoop of the Lee 2.2 cc dipper. Actually, we need a little bit more. I like to fill the shell completely. Now, grab the vibrating massager and shake that down until it's flush with the top of the pellets. And it does take a little bit longer with fine shot as opposed to buckshot, but still it's a lot faster than tamping it down. And we're pretty much done. Alright, now the actual last component, if I can find where I put it, right here, is just a paper thin overshot card. I'm only putting that in here to help with buffer leakage, and it does create a little bit flatter of a area for the crimp to set down into. Overshot cards can get you better looking crimps. Okay, and we're back. Had a phone call, but obviously using a Lee Loadall. Backstation is the 6-point crimp. This one is set up in 10 gauge, but it'll still do 12 gauge just fine. There's the pre-crimp, came out perfect. Using the GOP or Abacitor here, you'll see what it does in just a moment. I believe that's got it, yeah. There's what the Abacitor does. I hope you can make that out well enough. It creates a crease around the center of the crimp. Anyway, whenever you fold crimp it, like final crimp it I mean, it will look excellent. This being for 10 gauge, it's a little bit loose fitting for 12, but there is the crimp. It looks pretty dang good, nice and flat, kind of deep set, but we will hit that with a BN2 to give it a taper. It's kind of hard to see in this lighting. It is kind of belled out on top where that's a 10 gauge final crimp now. But I'll hit this with a BN2 and I'll turn this camera around for better lighting. You guys can get a better view of this shell. Okay, so here the top of the shell now has a nice taper to it. You see that rounded edge. A very beautiful fold crimp, nice and deep set. It is flat in the middle, not concave, not convex. That is a great looking shell. I also have one right here, same thing, done up in a red hull. Just for the guys like me who like red better than green. Color doesn't matter, I just think red is a better color than green. And back to subpar lighting we are. One of the lights above the bar here is out, and one over there in the dining area is also out, so it is kind of dark in here. I apologize for the grainy video, but really can't help it. I have to get some light bulbs. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. I know we've been getting some questions about some more turkey assemblies. Well, there you go. But anyway, guys, there is a 12 gauge, 3-inch, 1 5/8 ounce assembly of nickel-plated number 6 shot, buffered and all, in the CTPS 47 wad. I bet that one is going to pattern like nobody's business. But anyway, that's going to end this one here. Please like and subscribe. We always appreciate that. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section below, and we'll get back to you. And if you want to, go check out our Patreon. It's as low as $1 a month, and you guys get early access to content. A link to that, as well as a link to our Instagram, Rumble, and merch store will be in the description below. But other than that, you guys take it easy, and we'll see you in the next one.